This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
This is STARCAST, the official podcast of the Billingham Stars. Watch and listen for the latest news from the Big Red Machine.
No match ended a tie, so a regulation, overtime, game-winning shots. Started. Hello, this is your official Billingham Stars podcast. This is STARCAST from the Billingham Town Council of Billingham Stars. Not a lot to talk about this week, another quiet week in the world of the Big Red Machine, but we've dragged Carol and Jono along just to have a natter just in case. Carol, Jono, good evening, welcome along. Thanks for joining us again.
Evening.
Evening.
So we've got a home doubleheader to talk about with differing results, literally and metaphorically, and then a nice easy weekend ahead with the top two teams in the league, home and away, and then we'll throw in any other business as well. We'll get started with the good half of the home doubleheader. So it was Hull and Leeds were the visitors this weekend to the Forum, and we started on Saturday night. A good crowd as well on Saturday. I think Burn not being home was a help, but a good post-Christmas crowd. And it was Billingham Stars 7, Hull Jets 2. Goals for your Stars from Chris Sykes, Callum Wilkinson, Matty Pickup, which we'll talk about in a minute, James Moss, and a hat-trick from your captain, Michael Elder. For Hull, it was Richie Haggart and Aidan Dancer with their goals, but a 7-2 victory. Jacob Hammond was in net, 25 shots and 2 goals against. And Daniel Crowe, the recent addition to the Hull Jets, another busy night for him, 58 shots on him and 7 goals against. Post-game, we talked to Fuzzy on Sunday night when he was reviewing the weekend. Carol, I think we agreed it was a professional performance and a job well done against who could have been a difficult opponent on Saturday.
Very much so. I'm actually just you stopped me in my tracks a little bit there about when you did the shots on goal. Apparently, Dan Crowe faced more shots than Ollie Booth did on Sunday. So we'll come on to that, but that's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Anyway, yes, Saturday. They could have been very tricky, true, and obviously we welcome some players back on for the weekend. We were missing Paddy due to ridiculous suspension. I seem to be saying the word ridiculous quite a lot. I think I'm going to say the word ridiculous quite a lot in this podcast. We had both of our regular netminders back, so there was probably looking a little bit stronger than we have done in recent weeks. But still, Hull are a very tricky proposition, not just on their own ice, but away from home as well. Their form away from home isn't too shabby. I think we just dominated. We dominated that game. We just found Dan Crowe a little bit tricky to solve at times. And to being honest, frustration could have crept in, but it didn't. We just stuck at it. And in the end, a very, very much deserved result. Obviously, the highlight being a first senior Stars goal there for Matty Pickup, which was a really good individual effort as well. Start from start to finish, just a very, very comprehensive performance, and everything that the weekends before that had maybe been lacking. So. Saturday, I can't really fault any of it. It was a fine performance.
Yeah, and John, as Carl says, the first period it's just ended up as a 1-0. Where obviously had the vast majority of the chances. but we extended that to 3-0. Hull did come back a little bit, but then we pressed on the gas again at the start of period 3 and ran away and finished off with a nice natural hat-trick from the captain as well. So what was your highlights from Saturday?
Yeah, I think Carol probably touched on it there. Dan Crowe probably did do quite well at the start of the game. Obviously not a netminder we've come across before. I think he's always been that level above, or playing at that level above. Not saying he is that level above us, but yeah, I think we kept plugging away, and I think eventually we just wore him down. It was a bit of a hard performance to say that we were on it. We played well. I think it was a workmanlike performance. I don't think we were flashy or dominant, for a better word. I think it was just a case of getting the job done. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's probably the worst. I think we beat Hull 10-1 early in the season, but I think Saturday's team was worse than that team. I just couldn't see anything in that Hull team, and I'm pretty sure the coach has probably given them a bit of a roasting and training this week. I don't think that'll be acceptable from Andy Dane and the likes there. It was a very strange Hull performance, very not like them.
Yeah.
Whether it was just too much turkey first game back, or haven't trained, or just what it was, just very, very strange from them. But obviously we had those 2 games with the Warriors. Alan pulled out all the stops and managed to get some ice time so the lads could get on training, which on a Friday night everyone attended. Even I was quite amazed, to be honest. Everyone turned up, and that led into the Saturday as well. Everyone turned up. Greenhow was back, Statsfield was back, Jacob Hammond was back, Mark back after not played on the Sunday against the Warriors, just to make sure he was going to be okay. And Shuggy back playing forward, and I think I want to give a message out to Shuggy, actually, because I think he was phenomenal on Saturday. He played third line with Ben Greenhow and Matty Pickup, so it's not easy. 2 lads he's probably never played forward with, and he forechecked hard, he worked hard, he made big impactful hits, and he probably set a tone to a certain extent of the work rate of the team on Saturday, which was very impressive to see. Which will get me over to the Sunday when we get on to Sunday, because it was a complete opposite. But yeah, a very workmanlike performance from ourselves. Some good performances individually. I think Mikey struggled for two periods, and all of a sudden, third period, bang, away he went with a third period hat trick. But all in all, I think Hull will be very disappointed in themselves, and I think the coaches will be having words with them. But on the other side of it, a very good workmanlike performance from ourselves.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Hull look very, very out of sorts, like I say, very un-Hull-like. One thing you can guarantee from Hull normally is they'll turn up and they'll work hard, and if they're not getting the bounces, they'll still work hard and they'll kind of outwork you. And I don't think they did look a bit flat. But we'll see what. Obviously, at the minute, 4, they're just below us in the table, I think. So
10 points below us.
It's a few points, but yeah. But we'll see what they do over the coming weeks. Obviously, the goalie change is a big one for them. Like I say, Dan Crowe's coming in from a perceived higher level, but obviously he's got to get used to his team and his defence, and he doesn't have the kind of players around him he had maybe at the NIHL or when he was backing up for the elite and what have you. So he'll take time to settle in. A couple of highlights. Obviously, we'll talk about Matty Pickup in a second. But my kind of funny highlight, you could say, is when DJ tried to check Joe Walls and came off distinctly second best. Joe was just standing there and he kind of checked, and then that was kind of a funny moment. I don't think DJ found it very funny. But yeah, great to have Joe back in that kind of mood as well. Marauding forward, as he got the goals obviously at the Whitley weekend as well. Thoughts on Matty P's goal? Obviously, we've put the highlight out tonight as we're speaking. From the official camera, I know there's a fan video going to be out as well, from the other side of the rink, so you can see it from both sides of the rink. But like you say, picks up the puck, centre ice. Carroll goes in 1-on-1 and finally just squeaks it past Dan Crowe, and then we get the full celly on as well, and everybody's up on. And heard on the video, I maybe didn't realise it on the night but I was getting the video. Block B jumped into a big chorus of there's only one Matty Pickup as well, which is very nice. So Carol, Matty P, first senior Stars goal.
Yeah, it's going to be the first of many. I think he's got talent, that kid, and what a goal to score! A really lovely individual effort, and you could see how much it meant to him. Selly was quite wonderful. And you could see how much he meant to the team because they all went a little bit mental. Props to Shug for grabbing the puck for him. And you could hear what it meant to the crowd because I think that was the loudest they were all night for that goal. What a moment for him. What a moment. And I'm glad we've been able to kind of package it up for him to watch it again and again. Both videos, I'm sure he'll treasure them both, as he will the puck. Definitely not the last we've seen of that lad.
Yeah, definitely not. John, obviously you were bench side. The reaction from the guys on the bench, as Carol says, was one to behold as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They're all together. They're a great unit, and they know what's going on, and they know how hard he's working. They know he's got a couple of goals in Division 2 with the Bucks, so it was just hopefully fan expectation wasn't going to be too high and too much on him too soon, and expecting him to score straight away for the Stars. But it is a tough level. He's been up and down the lineup, second and third and fourth line and stuff, and just finding his way. But the one thing he's always done every shift is work hard, and that's the best thing about him. He's got a great head on his shoulders. You could see that from his goal and what it meant to him. He won a puck battle on the blue line, goes in, puts it in. And I think he must stare back about 3 times to make sure it's definitely in before he gives it the big celebration. And rightly so, because even though there's probably no pressure on him at all to score, you still want that first one. You want that monkey off your back. And as a 16-year-old, it must be an absolute sensational feeling. And yeah, he has got that monkey off his back. Now, I'm not expecting him to go on a run of scoring 15, 20 goals for the rest of the season. But if he ends up on 5, 6, 7 goals for the rest of the season, it's going to set him up really well for the summer and going into next season. But yeah, he's a great kid. He works hard. He really wants it, and he's certainly going to be one for the Stars faithful for shouting the name in the future. Yeah.
Are you sure you're not expecting him to score 3 or 4 goals this weekend coming? Just really look at the opposition we're facing.
You never know. I mean, it has happened before with juniors coming through, so you never know.
Stranger things, yeah, definitely.
You might be able to go coast to coast on Blackburn or something like that.
Now that would be worth a highlight reel, definitely. Anything else on the Saturday game? 3 very well-earned points for the Stars. It's a good Saturday crowd. 7 goals scored. Always not a bad thing to keep finding the twine, as it were. Anything else from you two for Saturday before we move on to the real meat and potatoes of the weekend?
I'm going to go and say it was very well officiated because we don't say it a lot.
Yes, Stanley did a good job on Saturday.
I thought it was. He didn't have a lot to do, but what he did do was on the button, which is all you can ask for. If you if you come away from a game not even talking about the bloke, not even mentioning a call that he made, and then you know he's had a good day. And sometimes it's worth mentioning. I think he had a good game and fair play because we haven't had many of it this year, or much of it this year.
It's almost like a foreshadowing, John. I don't know why we're talking about the official at the end of this game. Yeah.
Well, but it's always nice to see, to be honest.
It's always nice to see Stanley. And obviously, we didn't give him a lot to do. They had 14 penalties. We had 14 minutes. We had 2 minutes. We scored 2 power play goals. So, all in all, a good night's work. 3 points, 7 goals, and everybody went off to sleep well on Saturday night. We came back on Sunday to face the Leeds Knights, and this time 7 days ago. When I was looking at the form and we realised Leeds had lost 11 in a row, somebody went, uh-oh, and it turned out to be a bit of an uh-oh. I've cracked this joke at home, but I'll crack it on here and see how it lands. Without wishing to get too off Taylor Swift, we just couldn't shake them off on Sunday, and we just couldn't get rid of them. We kept stretching the lead, they kept coming back, and even down at the last couple of minutes, we had a couple of power plays, we scored, and they just wouldn't come back. So the final score was 6-5 to the Leeds Knights after a penalty shot competition. Finished 5-5 after regulation. Stars goals were Callum Wilkinson, Evelyn Brown, Lucas Dowdle, Chris Sykes and James Moss. And for the Knights, Helgi Bjarnason, Tom Dermott, Danny Harrison, Josh Hartley, Kurt Baumanis, and Danny Harrison credited with the winning shot in the shootout, which we'll get to. But we'll do the regulation time and stuff first before we save to the big stuff. Carol, do you want to kick us off? I think frustrating is probably the word from all of the efforts, and we just didn't get the bounces to take advantage of the chances we had.
Well, even without the penalty shot competition, which we will get onto, I think we're going to be talking about this game for a long, long time because I can't remember seeing much like it. The shots on goal official count is nonsense. I don't wish to be too detrimental to our off ice officials there, but honestly, 19 shots on Ollie Booth in the first period. It's at least double that. I'm sorry. The first period was like the Alamo. It was a shootout. It was mental to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so you've got to give all the credit in the world to Leeds for hanging on to our coattails, because honestly, there was periods in that game where you just wondered how many it was going to be and how embarrassing it was going to be for Leeds. And the very fact that they came out of that first period 2-1,
Mm-hmm.
how it was that sort of game. And maybe we should have all known it was going to be that sort of game after the first period, because we should have been gone, out of sight, over the hill. Whatever cliche you want to use, we should have been long into the distance by the end of the first period. But we weren't. And all the credit in the world to Leeds for just sticking at it, clogging up the lanes, sticking the bodies in the middle, just making it horrifically difficult for us.
Ugly.
And you can't, as a coach who is coaching a team like Leeds, who haven't been getting the results, that's all you can ask for. They absolutely worked their socks off and got every single bounce, which again you do need if you're going to get into that position. But yeah. I honestly I've never seen anything like it. It was one of them games without the penalty shootout. You can take that out of the equation for now. It was still one of those games.
Yeah, and as Carol said, it was 2-1 after the first. It was 3-2 after the second. We kept edging further ahead, but we just couldn't get rid of them. They just would not lie down, and they got to the point where we got the power play late on. Mossy scored. You thought finally, but then they pulled the goalie, and then it was the old 59-59, 1 second left. Squeaks it through Marcus Pads, I think, and Baumanis levels it. And then even overtime, we kind of had the chances in overtime as well.
Yeah, I'm with Carol. I've even had a bit of a ding-dong with Fee about it on Sunday. Like, the shots, like, from my perspective, it wasn't even close when I found out what the numbers were. Like I say, the first period was absolutely extraordinary. If it was less than 30, I'd be shocked. I mean, from my angle, many of the shots might have missed the net. I don't know. Maybe Ollie Booth caught some that weren't on target as well. Not so sure, but I know we hit the ironwork 4 times in the free period as well, and then that happens, and it's only 2-1 at the end of the first period, and you're looking at the score and you're going, something's not right here, something's not going to go. But I just don't think the energy was there from the night before. Like, the workmen, like, pull the socks up, dig deep, and grit this one out. I thought we were very soft, if I'm being honest. And I don't know whether that's because it was a team full of kids and we was a bit too much respect for them. Didn't want to hurt them or anything like that, but I thought we were very soft. There wasn't that. I mean, if you go back to the Saturday, Joe Walls laid a very big hit early on Morris, ended up drawing a penalty because of how big the hit was. Shuggy was putting his body all over the place on Saturday and hitting anything that moved and to set a good tone. And there was just none of that there on Sunday. And I don't know whether it's because they were kids. It's not for me to say. Only the lads will know that. Whether it's the 2-game weekends are absolutely killing us at the moment, because there's been lots of them over a busy Christmas period as well. But yeah, the energy wasn't there, and for whatever reason, for how good we were offensively, we just weren't getting it done in the defensive zone. No, they were just finding a way to find a loose puck, or like I say, Carol said perfectly there. They were just clogging up the zone. They were making it look ugly and just doing what they could do to hang in. I mean, from a Leeds point of view, there was no pressure. They could have just give up and thought, and let Billingham run away with it, and it's going to be 8-9-1. They've got nothing to lose, nothing to gain. It's all educational stuff from them. But they just clung on, and they got the luck that they deserved, I suppose, for clinging on, for getting that goal at 59-59, and then rules of competition kind of fell foul of us from there on in.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Broad shoulders. I can take this. So after the overtime period, obviously 5 minutes 3-on-3, couldn't get a winner, so it goes to a shootout. We're waiting for the thing to start. Obviously, tossing the coin, find out who's thingy, and then I'm getting a text from the scorers table. Do you know how many shots it is? Oh, why should? I mean, turns out no, I didn't is the answer. But anyway, I still thought it was 5. So I said, well, I thought it was 5, but I hadn't got the rules of competition. I didn't have them at the time. And the ref didn't know. So he asked the penalty bench, and the penalty bench asked me, and I said what I thought, and the ref didn't check, and we played 5 penalties. And there you go. So, but after 3 penalties, I do have the rules of competition, as you caught me reading earlier. 5 minutes 3-on-3, and if still tied, a game-winning shot competition will take place. Each team selects 3 brackets, the number 3, just in case you didn't know what 3 was. 3 shooters to take alternate shots. If the score remains tied after 3 rounds, the shooter continues with 1 shot each until the winner is determined. All eligible players must shoot before any player can take. It's even Andy didn't get that right either.
No.
All eligible players must shoot before any player can take a second attempt.
Yep.
So that was wrong as well.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't matter because we should have won after 3 shots. Because after 3 shots, it was 2-0 to us.
Yeah.
Everything was wrong about it. From the 4th shot, everything was wrong.
Everything was wrong. Because it doesn't say about swapping the order as well. Because I know that's another IHF thing. They changed the order of shots after normal shots to sudden death shot. They changed the order of shooting. But that's not listed in the rule of competition either. So.
The easy thing to do is scrap it from shot 4 onwards, because none of it was legal.
Yeah,
none of it's in ROC. So there you go. It is what it is, I suppose. It's terrifying.
It followed the pattern of the game really. So we in the actual game itself, we went out early to a 2-0 and Leeds pegged back. In the shootout, we went out early 2-0 and Leeds pegged it back after the competition should have finished. But they still pegged it back, and then we went to sudden death, and then, so I didn't realize that until I've just read it out there. Now that was me finding out in real time. So yeah, everybody should shoot before everybody takes a second attempt. So when Mikey because Ian was going to take the sudden death one, wasn't he?
Ian and Mikey took sudden death shots, and they shouldn't have done.
So yeah. Anyway, so Leeds on the night, Leeds get the point. What happens? We don't know. I know Alan talked to the referee at the time. Fozzie talked to the referee. If anything's going to be mentioned to the NIHL management, we don't know. As we're talking here on Tuesday night when we're recording, we don't know what's happening. As things currently stand, Leeds get 2 points, we get 1 point, making a 4-point weekend. And it just made a flat end to what had been generally a decent weekend. And yes, the game was frustrating, but there were some nice goals and some end-to-end play. And if we'd got the result, you probably would have taken it and taken 5 points for the weekend and away. And in the end, it made a kind of a flat finish. And the post game that we did with Thor was probably kind of reflected that. Anything on the rules and how it's all my fault?
Yes. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have a rant here. We've given credit where it's due. On Saturday, Stanley really did officiate that game well. But unfortunately, this season, those instances have been few and far between. And for me, this is just another instance of the officials not being good enough. The referee shouldn't be asking anybody, not one person in that ring, for the rules. He should know the rules. And if he doesn't know the rules, he should be consulting something a lot more official online, maybe, or texting, his performance manager, whatever he needs to do. He shouldn't be asking people around the rink for the rules. It's a basic
Or even
error.
the two other people wearing stripy shirts next to him, perhaps.
Yeah, just anybody. He should have been asking, somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. Sorry, Craig, for the rules. And the fact that he didn't know them is ridiculous. See, I've used that word again. Ridiculous. He's got nobody to blame but himself. And I know he was very embarrassed. He stayed in that changing room an awful long time at the end of the game. I think he was waiting for everybody to leave. And I get that.
I don't think he was embarrassed. I just think he was that bright red from a horrific performance. He was just crap. And he just wanted to get out of there.
I will have a rant here. It is not acceptable. And I've seen comments from other teams and other fans going on about it. Oh, it's all sour grapes. It isn't sour grapes. We won that game. And we've been denied the win of the game because the referee was incompetent. Now, I actually don't care if there's repercussions on me for that. But he should know the rules. He didn't know the rules. He screwed up and he's robbed us. Mm-hmm. Now, if that counts for anything at the end of the season, there could be repercussions come the end of the season if we're separated by a point from another team and it means we play a different team in the playoffs. Who knows what the repercussions will be, but it's not good enough. And there should be repercussions of some description. I mean, it would be tough on Leeds for them to give us the win. And I don't for one second think they will, by the way, because it's Billingham and they won't. But there should be some sort of repercussions from an official's point of view because it's not good enough. Rant over.
Yeah.
It's not even the first time this year that a significant error has been made. A significant error. Look at the game against Blackburn at home when we should have had a penalty shot. That could have been the reason why our season slumped away as. That losing that game in that fashion with 30 seconds left in the game could have just knocked all that stuffing out of us, and that's it for the season. If we get that penalty shot, go and score and get a tie, who knows where we are this season? But the referees need to know the very basics. I mean, Craig, you've been there as an umpire with the NEPL. I'm the same with the NYSD. We get our little blue books.
Exactly that.
We get our little blue books. We carry them around with us. We have MCC laws, rules of competition. And if I'm traveling to a cup game, because there's about 25 different cups in the NYSD, I am reading that book before I get there to see what differences there are.
You get your league rules, your cup rules, all the different competitions you're going to be involved with, and you know what's going on before you step on the field. So, as an official, there was no excuse for him not to know.
It took him 30 seconds to get off the ice to go in his bag and have a look, or even pick up his phone, and as Carol says, make that one phone call. It took him 5 minutes to ask everybody and find out what's going on. So I don't think anyone would have cared if he had to leave the ice to find out, to get it right. He never took that time to get off the ice to get it right. He took time and still got it wrong, and that's what irks people. Now, I know the result's not going to get changed because it's British ice hockey and it is what it is. But the very, very least we deserve is an apology, and a public one at that. And I know we won't get that. But that's the very least we deserve. And probably never to see that referee again.
Yeah.
Because it's just not good enough. And I've said this in a few places now. I've said it on other podcasts. I've said it on other podcast pages. The level of this league is leaving the standard officiating behind. Now, it's a great league for officials to learn in for the ones who want to make it to the NIHL. The standard of officiating we're getting probably isn't even Division 2 level, and that's what's frightening. And I know we need these guys for a game, and I know it's just a hobby, but there's a lot of stuff riding on these things now. As Carol says, let's just play a hypothetical here. What if we get Blackburn in the first round of the playoffs and we knock them out, all because of that 1 point? The detrimental effect that will have had to them and the plans that they've had for the season, they would expect at least to get to a semi-final, which is over 2 legs. Now, if they end up getting us in the quarterfinal and getting knocked out, they've lost gate there straight away, because normally they'd be playing someone else. And that's the kind of things it'll get to. Other teams could be hurt financially in the future for poor decisions.
Yeah.
And that's where they've got to stand up and be accountable. And like I say, the very least we deserve right now is an apology. And Tuesday night, we should have had it by now.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what I say as we're recording this Tuesday night. we haven't heard anything. We'll see what transpires over the coming days. We hit the ice again on Saturday. I think you can tell collectively we aren't holding our breath, so because that'll kill us by Saturday. I will say though, I know joking aside, I'm annoyed at myself for saying that, but it's just it's not my decision, but it's one of them things. It just compounded the whole bleep end of the night, really, didn't it? Any last words on Sunday before we quickly look at the rest of the results from the weekend?
I think we better park it.
So, NIHL North 1 back to a full-ish kind of program after just the one game last weekend. Blackburn had the week off this week, so they were sitting idle. So whoever faces them next weekend after a week off, oh no, it's us again, isn't it? Anyway, that in a minute. 3rd of January, Billingham 7, Hull 2, as we've said. Sheffield 1, Telford 7. Excuse me. And then Sunday, Billingham 5, Leeds 6, as we've talked about. Widnes 5, Telford 6, another one went to OT. Telford took the extra point in the extra session there, but a great point from the Widnes Wild. And then D-side 11, Nottingham 2. But yeah, so Dragons back on form at the top of the division there. So it means after the 4th of January, Blackburn obviously didn't play, 66 points. Telford have moved up into 2nd place. They're on 50 points. The Dragons on 47, Solihull on 46, and then we're there on 38. So we're 8 behind, and then we're also 9 ahead of the next place, which is Widnes on 29, Hull on 28, Nottingham the last playoff spot on 18, and you've got Leeds on 14, and Sheffield still with a perfect record, 0-24 for the Sheffield Scimitars. This weekend coming, he says, moving quickly. So Blackburn play Nottingham on Saturday, Telford play Billingham Stars, Widnes play D-side, and then it's the final cup qualifying game as well, Solihull versus Hull, to find out exactly who takes off the 2nd spot in the other cup division. So those semi-finals are next weekend.
That's literally winner goes through, isn't it?
Let's have a look at the cup tables. Scrolling up back to the top.
Or it affects D-side, I can't remember now.
Yeah, no, it affects it. So currently in that group, so D-side have 17 points. They're definitely through, but they're not necessarily first because if Solihull win, Solihull will go first. They're on 16 points from 7 games. Hull are the outside ones to qualify. They need a regulation win to take the last spot. But they're on 14 points from 7. So the money would say Solihull, in which case Solihull would go first, and D-side would end up 2nd, which would mean your semi-finals would be Solihull Telford, the Midlands derby, and Blackburn D-side, kind of a northwest-ish derby. So if the results go to form, 2 tasty semi-finals next weekend, while we're having a weekend off. First weekend off for a long time. But yeah, so that's rounding off Saturday's fixtures. And then Sunday, D-side Widnes, Billingham Blackburn, Solihull Sheffield, and Nottingham versus Hull rounds off the full programme on Sunday. What we'll do is we'll take a break there and we'll talk about the Billingham games this coming weekend in more detail. I say away to Telford, 2nd place Telford on Saturday, and at home to 1st place Blackburn on Sunday. Just what you want after that weekend for your Billingham Stars. We'll be back shortly and talk with more on STARCAST.
This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts, including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
Welcome back to STARCAST, and we'll look ahead to this week's action for your Billingham Town Council Billingham Stars. And as we've said, what better games to try and snap you out of a slump from Sunday night than 2nd place Telford and first place Blackburn. We start on Saturday in Telford. We've had 2 good games against Telford this season so far, Jono. 2 5-4 defeats. But we've pushed the up and coming Jason Silverthorne line with Vladimir Luka as his right wing. We've pushed them in all of the games, and we've had chances in all of the games, and it could be another good one down there on Saturday.
Yeah, I think it might be the game of the weekend. To be honest, I think it'll be ourselves trying to prove that we're not the team in the position that we are, which I think we all know we're not. For whatever reason, for whatever hockey gods we've upset, it's not a true reflection of how good we are. And I think they will be wanting to go in there and saying, look, this is how good we are. This is why we won what we won last year. And we're going to show you why. But that's not easy feat when you've got a Telford team that's stacked with experience like it is. Just with 2 players alone, there's probably 50,000 games between them because they're that old. But it's just not the experience you've got. They're still absolutely quality at the age that they're at. Sensational. I think it was Matt Maurice on their line in Billingham. So he must have landed on his feet when he said he was leaving Solihull to go to Telford. Yeah. Playing third line in Solihull to first line Telford, playing with Luka and Silverthorne. No wonder he was excited to move. But no, a full strength Stars with touch wood. Everyone's didn't seem to pick up any knocks at the weekend. Everyone seems fine. Rowley should be back, but we don't know. Obviously, he did pick up that injury, and it's probably going to be a late one for him, a late decision for him, a last minute check over from Sadie to see if he's good to go at the weekend. But that could be a positive if he is good to go. So yeah, we could be back up to full strength and a much stronger D than we went down there last time. But yeah, I think it's that time of season now, especially after Sunday. We've got a point to prove, and let's start going out there and start proving it. Yeah,
and Telford, as we've mentioned the experience, Carl, but we saw at the weekend Taylor Stanton started throwing the Michigans around now, so he's come to play now in this division, which we wanted to see from the development side. We want Taylor Stanton at this time of division and higher. So it's great to see from a fan perspective, not from our goalies' perspectives, but as General says, a fullish strength Stars. And we'll, as we've done in the past, we'll up our game to the level of the opponent, and it should be a good one to watch on Saturday.
I think so. Yeah, Taylor Stanton's, the up and coming star. 14 goals already this season at this level is really good for a lad his age, playing on that team. But for me, you can't really look past Luka and Silverthorne. They've got 59 goals between them this season so far. 59 goals. That's ridiculous. I told you I was going to use that word a lot.
That word again. Ding. I should go a ding from that. Ding.
Ridiculous. So you've got to find a way of stopping those guys. And I think John O's right. I think we've got a point to prove now. Even though we won that game against Leeds, we have a point to prove to the rest of the league. We have a point to prove to ourselves, more importantly, and we do seem to raise our game against the better teams. So I do think it's going to be a really good game to watch. We just have to, like I say, we have to be better in our defensive zone though, because that was the only thing that I could point to on Sunday. We just weren't careful enough in our own zone, and we need to be a lot more protective of what we do there. A lot of loose passes, a little bit too carefree at the back, thinking that you're just going to keep control of the puck. We really need to be a lot more careful there. And I'm sure that's what the guys are going to be looking at this week in training. So should be a really good game to watch. It's Telford, so there's probably going to be quite a lot of goals involved.
Yeah. I was just checking there from when you're saying the stats, I'm just checking their stat line. Vladimir Luka, 123-year-old, however old he is, 44 goals in 23 games. So he's on course for, what, 50 odd, 60, maybe 60 goals if he keeps that pace. I mean, who scores 60 goals in this league? We did last year. Anyway. But yeah, no, he's a talent. And you say mark him, but he's that much experience. He knows how to find the gap, gets free. And when you say we got a playmaker like Silverthorne on his line to kind of find the space, it's easier said than done to mark him out of the game. So we'll see what the boys can do. We'll obviously have a roll call on training this week to see who's up for it and who's available and what sort of team we'll be having at the weekend. Anything else on Telford? Obviously, there've been two fairly close games so far. They've had a bit of a run, so they're up to second in the table now. Are they punching above what you thought they would do in this division, John, or are they kind of where you thought they would be?
Punching as in league position, yes, but how good they are, no. I mean, everyone says they're a new team in the division and doing so well. Let's just scrap that. That's a load of BUL. Simple as that. Look at the players that they have in that roster. It's talented from top to bottom. They've strengthened recently with adding Zach Brown, a good quality netminder at this division as well. Because obviously they knew they had an issue with a lot of goals conceded. I mean, they conceded a boatload at the weekend, even though they won. With not 5-1 up and it went to overtime. So there is frailties there in that day. I mean, I'm just looking there and I think they only had 4 D-men on Sunday. So how there will be this weekend, I don't know. But the talent that they've got there in Luca, in Somerton, Silverthorne. Like, I mean, we went up against Silverthorne when it was Tigers 1 a few years ago, and he ripped us to shreds then. He's just a phenomenal player, far better than this division. He can still play in the National League, same as Luca. But it is what it is. They're experienced right through the roster, and then they're just adding little pieces. They've got homegrown talent such as Stanton. They brought in a lot of experience in Matt Marie, so they're very, very experienced. It's not a new team in this division. Yes, they haven't been in Division 1 for a while. For whatever reason, they've avoided it for quite a lot of years, let's be honest. I think they've been asked numerous times and avoided it, but this time they decided to take the jump, and they knew they had the roster, they had the experience, and it's paying off. Is it going to be a little bit like Hull, where they surprised everyone in their first year in, and then next year it's a bit down to reality? Not sure. But they've put themselves in a great position to win some silverware, that's for sure. And looking at their roster moves over the last 2 months, I think they've let a few players go as well. They're certainly eyeing themselves up for some silverware. Yeah.
Well, we'll try and do the thing we did with Leeds as losing record last week. We'll try and do it with Telford this week. They've won 7 in a row, so it could be about to come unstuck. Fingers crossed. Carol, anything on Telford before we move to the Sunday home game?
Not on the game itself, but I will just point out to people who are planning to travel to watch on Saturday. The weather is still going to be absolutely awful come the weekend. So please do take care on the roads. Set off in plenty of time. Keep an eye on the forecasts. Just be careful.
Yeah, it's one of the ones I haven't been. I'll not be there this weekend, but I still haven't been to Telford. If people do go, it'll look a little bit familiar because it was done by the same people who did Billingham's refurb, wasn't it? So it's kind of one side and benches on the wall, and you've got a big telly which is kind of showing off a bit, but a nice little rink. But yeah, if you're travelling, the usual rules apply. Travel safe, travel well, and travel loud and proud for your big red machine. So that is Saturday at Telford, and then on Sunday we return home to the Forum House Arena, and it is, having seen off the second place team on Saturday, we'll take on the league leaders, currently 22 wins from 24 games, Blackburn Hawks, coming into town. Carl, you can kick us off on this one. It's always been the big game over the last few years since Solway left the division. Blackburn and Billingham have been the big two, you could say. Hawks with the edge perhaps this year, but always a box office occasion, particularly at the Forum as well.
Yeah, and I'm quite sure we'll get a nice contingent of Blackburn fans if the weather permits. They usually travel well in numbers to support their team, so should be a really good atmosphere. We wait to see what the teams produce, but certainly the last time we were played at the Forum, it was an absolute cracker of a game, an absolute crackerjack. So Hawks edged it. Controversial ending to the game. Where have we heard that before this season? So yeah, they're a completely different proposition at Telford. Their scoring is up and down the lines. You haven't got one or two players to watch out for. You've got 3 lines worth of forward talent to keep watch on. I'm sure it'll be another epic. But it doesn't seem to matter where either team is in the league. We always seem to get up for this particular fixture. Blackburn have got their eyes on everything this year. They want to win everything. They're in a great position to do so. And they're gonna want to get one over us after we got everything last season. So we'll see. I still think we're more than capable of taking those points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was a 6-5 at the Forum last time to the Hawks. They won 8-2 at Blackburn in the return a month or so ago. But that was Billingham had, I think, 12 skaters or something.
Yeah.
Basically 2 lines I think we had. So generally your thoughts on Blackburn coming in? Always a much anticipated fixture over the last well, pretty much since Billingham came back. It was the playoff final year 1, and we kind of had this relationship with Blackburn ever since, you could say.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole league will have their eyes on this one. I think Telford, Solihull, D-side, they'll all have their fingers crossed that we all do them a favour. Blackburn will be coming in expecting to win and expecting to dominate with an easy win. I do believe that. They're well above us, 20, 25 points, maybe more above us. And to be fair, we can be that annoying little team that's going to upset someone's season now, and I think that we need to be that team. We've got 2 games against Blackburn. If we win those 2 games against Blackburn, that could leave the league table wide open again. So yeah, that's what the league will be looking out for. As for the 2 teams going at it, I think there's no other way of describing it. The Blackburn are the heavy favourites for it, just on form alone and league position. So it's a chance for us to punch above our weight and get a shock result, because that's what it'll be, and that's not trying to take pressure off or anything. That's just looking at the league table and saying that's what it is. It is what it is. Are we capable of beating them? Absolutely. I think in the first game, over 60 minutes, we were the better team, and it just didn't go our way. They scored a nice goal from the blue line. Referee error at the end didn't give us a chance to get ourselves back in the game. We might have missed that penalty shot, who knows, and the results stayed the same. But no, it could be a classic. It should be a classic. Whether it is, I'm not so sure. But if the boys are up for it, we will be entertained.
Yeah. I don't like that you made us do math, but yes, 28 points is the difference. 38-66. Yeah. So they're just a little bit ahead of us. But their 2 losses have come on the road this season, so silver linings and all that.
And that's one thing that we've got to play for as well. We got the points record last year. One more loss for Blackburn, and I don't think they can break that points record. So it's something for us to play for still.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like you say, the return of the Sunday home crowd. Blackburn, I said, weather permitting, as Carol said, hopefully a good travelling contingent makes for a fullish barn and a great atmosphere, Carol. And they're the games that, as John alluded, they're the games you want to be part of. The big top of the table league. You're playing the league leaders, full house. Both sets of fans should be chomping for it.
Absolutely. I think the previous game between the 2 teams at the Forum was probably the loudest and most involved the crowd have been pretty much all season. That's exactly what you want to play in front of if you're playing. It a massive motivating factor. I mean, the cliches, it's the 6th man, but it really can be that important. And I think the 2 teams will be in the mood to put on a show. So yes, last Sunday was entertaining if you're a bit of a masochist. But I think this Sunday's game will be entertaining for all the right reasons. I hope so. And we could do without any controversy this week. If I could ask the hockey gods just for one favour, one this season, please can we not have any more controversial incidents that decide games? Thank you. Can I also point out that Sunday's game, we will have Andy's Man Club in attendance, which it is an organisation we have supported regularly over the past few years. Blue Monday is around the corner, which January's can be quite a depressing month for a lot of people anyway. But apparently the saddest day of the year is Monday, the 19th, I think it is. So in advance of that, Andy's Man Club are coming down. They do an awful lot of very, very good work supporting men's mental health, not just in this region, but nationwide. So the Stockton branch of Andy's Man Club will be at the game on Sunday. So please do feel free to go over, have a chat, buy some merch, support them any way you like. And if you are that person that needs to reach out and you find that a safe environment to do so, please go and talk to them.
Yeah, 100%. Well said. We've had Stockton Man Club there have been with us a couple of times before. I think I've done a game with the Bucks as well, so they've been a regular around the hockey at the Forum. So it'll be great to see them at the weekend. And I say if you want to pop in, see the guys there, have a word. And it's okay to talk, as their motto says. So just have a word and make sure you're not going to be caught up in this mental health stigma, which is sadly a lot of people are affected by. Anything else on the games before we move on? EOB, not the most seamless transition from mental health to anyway, but anyway, I'm still getting the hang of this. Don't worry. So then this weekend, your fixtures for the Billingham Stars, second and first in the table. Second place Telford away on Saturday at 6 p.m. and then first place Blackburn at home at the Forum Ice Arena, 5:30 as usual. Good seats still available. Get there in good time. It should be a barn burner, as they say. Any other business? John can get his list ready. I'll give him a few moments. And Carol.
I was just going to give a nod to the what is now going to be the genuine Winter Classic at the weekend. After the farce of the NHL's Winter Classic being in Florida and not very wintry, the German Winter Classic, which I've had the privilege of attending a couple of times, is on Saturday, and the forecasted low for Dresden, which is where it is -13 on Saturday. And it's Dresden playing Liam Kirk's team, Ice Bear in Berlin, and Polar Bears is probably what probably feel right at home in Dresden on Saturday. So a proper Winter Classic on Saturday. I thought I would mention it because I know a lot of people were kind of turned off by the NHL's effort.
Ice Bear, is that Billy's team, and that should be Billy's team, Ice Bear
in Berlin, yes.
Yeah.
So yes, Mr. Gary Bettman, we know you're listening. We know you watch STARCAST weekly.
Yes.
Sort your Winter Classic out. It needs to be snow, and we need to be watching people freezing their absolute bejesus off. None of this shorts and shirt stuff. It needs to be cold. Winter Classic. It's in the name. Winter. Make it wintry.
Definitely.
So Gary, I know you're listening. You know you're watching. There's your advice from me.
Just a quick one before John does his sales pitch. A couple of JB teams are in action this week. JB under 18 women are in action in their division. They were promoted last year, so they're in a higher division. They played the top seed yesterday in their opening game. Went down 4-0 to Austria, but that was give them a great account of themselves. They're playing Spain at the moment. But good luck to GB women under 18s for the rest of their week. GB under 20s men are in Romania. They They won one, lost one of their first 2 games. It's a rest day today. They continue again tomorrow. So if you have a look on Ice Hockey UK, all across their website and social media, you can follow the GB representative teams. The start of the tournament season kind of starts just before Christmas. So there'll be tournaments at all levels over the next few months. So good luck to GB in their events coming up. We have
GB women currently winning, Craig.
They are winning 1-0, yes.
No.
What time do they kick off? They kick off at 7, so maybe there's not too much left. Jono, you have a list for a home game on Sunday?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what I can't keep thanking you guys enough as fans to keep rolling out at the merch table. We had a new little thing on there this time. We do have a game use stick going up for raffle, and you have gone mental for it. So again, just thank you so much. Funds do go straight back into the supporters club, so we can help the team with whatever they need, or the supporters club to bring more merch. On the side of bringing more merch, I know some stuff has been approved this week. Might even just been today it's been approved. So there's some stuff coming. Probably best to say, especially for you Billy fans, I think you're going to like what's coming. So do visit the. I think it should be ready this Sunday. If not, keep your eyes open because it will be coming very soon. And we've just trying to get a few more bits and bobs signed off. And yeah, just keep coming along, keep saying hello, and keep buying the stuff that we have on offer. I think we've got more pucks coming as well. They've been dropped off at the printers, so we'll have more logo pucks available. There's still Champions pucks available. Do get them to complete your collection of Morley Cup, Morley League, Morley Playoff, and National Playoff. Get your full set. Do get them while we still got some left as well, and just all your other bits and bobs. But yeah, just thank you so much. Every week you're coming to the table and parting with hard-earned cash, especially on double home weekends as well, when it's a lot of money for everyone to come out and support the team. So it's from the absolute bottom of my heart. Just thank you very, very much. And also thank you to the guys that have reached out as well with 1 or 2 ideas. And I will get back to you. Just really busy. I haven't do that work thing again. Unfortunately, the 10 a year. The full-time thing's taken over this week. So, but yeah, I will get back to you for those that who have messaged, and we'll get some stuff sorted. Not a problem. Yeah,
no, it's been good, and the fans back and things. I've noticed when I've been doing the results of the competitions there. The 50-50 has been going up and up and up regularly, well into 3 figures. Both days this weekend, it was well over 130, 140, something like that. So great job, everybody supporting, and all the money goes in to support the club in whatever way. So thank you to everybody for that. I wasn't ignoring you, Jono, but it looks like the GB game's finished and we've won 1-0. I'm just trying to get 100% confirmation, and I can't get the IHF website.
Only an hour and a bit in though, isn't it? I'm getting live on my bit. That's all. I don't like the new app upgrade.
That's why I'm struggling to follow. Right, we'll update in the notes if that is the case.
No, I've got 58:15 on the clock.
Right,
but it might not have updated.
But now thanks to everybody who supports the stuff the supporters club are doing. Yeah, your match night, competitions, the merch on the club table, everything goes to support the team, to put the product on the ice. So support is very much appreciated. Anything else? Anything AOB? Any other business come to mind? If not, then we shall draw a veil. And just one final reminder: Saturday 6 o'clock at Telford against Telford Tigers 2, and then Sunday Forum Ice Arena 5:30 against the Blackburn Hawks for your Billingham Stars this weekend. We hope we can see you at the Forum if you're travelling to Telford. As Carol said, travel safe, but when you get there, travel loud and proud for your Big Red Machine. Hope we can see you at the Forum on Sunday. Thank you to Carol. Thank you to Jono as always. We'll do it again next week. I'll do all my homework, I promise. So if any questions come out at the game on Sunday, I shall be ready. But for now, from your official Billingham Stars podcast, this is STARCAST. We say goodbye and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching and listening to STARCAST. Follow us on social media and remember to subscribe and leave a review on your podcast platform.